Alright, it's about time I said something about this, because this is getting out of hand. So back in July, the EPA released a bill talking about the removal of emission compliant parts for trucks. That was the main focus, but it talked about everyone in general. This has become a bit of a problem for a lot of people, because in the document it specifically is saying that all cars that are originally made compliant, even if they are being used for competitive use, cannot remove their emissions.
Are you aware that in the middle of that proposed rule there's a proposal by EPA to make it illegal to modify vehicles used solely for competition?
No, sir, I don't believe that that's what it says, but I certainly understand the section that you're talking about.
Well, I can read the language to you. It says certified motor vehicles and motor vehicle engines and their emission control devices must remain in their certified configuration, even if they're used solely for competition or if they become non-road vehicles or engines.
Which, for anyone who knows how emissions work, it helps make the car, be more fuel efficient and also be less detrimental to the environment, which is not a bad thing. The problem is that when the car is strictly for track use, you still are saying to have all the emissions parts on? And do you not know, like, how racing works in general? In the fact that this is a deliberate attack on the automotive industry as a whole?
Not only is this an important part of the way of life for a lot of Americans who enjoy taking cars and modifying them so they can race, but it's a billion-dollar industry of aftermarket folks who make parts for people using competition. I remember back in February, you testified before the committee and you made the point that not one EPA regulations ever cost one job. Well, I'm telling you, this is a billion-dollar industry that would be wiped out if we can't clarify this and make sure the intent you've expressed is reflected in the regulation.
The big thing that's going around right now is that the EPA has overstepped their boundaries, and SEMA as an organization has released the RPM Act and is trying to get it passed. Yesterday I watched this video by Evan Shanks. When you guys are done watching this video, I'm gonna leave it down below. Make sure to go watch it and talk about how cars have helped him and why this is gonna impact him personally and why it'll affect a lot of people as well. And I've been seeing a lot of posts by different companies, by different people in general. It all started with this TikTok, which I'll post right here.
To everybody in the car community, this is extremely important. The EPA is trying to take away our rights to mod our cars in any way possible.
They're planning on banning everything from superchargers, turbos, tunes, and even exhaust.
SEMA put this up on their website. It explains everything about it. If you have time, just at least go check it out. We need everybody's support. And there's no way to actually vote on the RPM Act. So what you actually need to do is get a hold of your member of Congress and let them know. The more people contacting Congress about this, the better. And the worst part about it is they bring it up as saying race cars, so it makes it sound worse to everybody else that's not in the community. And it's even the simple stuff too, from downpipes to intakes to any little tiny thing. So guys, right now, please go on SEMA's website, check out everything, read everything, and do everything you can, whether it's just sharing it, spreading the word, or getting in contact with your member of Congress. They're trying to take away our rights.
This TikTok talked about it, and at first I was upset because I have heard so many things about, like, California Air Resources Board taking away car parts and the EPA, and I've just gotten so upset about things before, and I looked at all the information, and to me, it just didn't make any sense what people were saying. As it's said in a little bit, and I've done a bit more research, I've realized that it is a big deal. Now, even for me being in the state of Texas, I don't really need to worry too much per se, but the fact is that the bigger issue is the accessibility of these car parts to these people trying to build their cars. The biggest issue of what's happening right now is the fact that we are in the midst of the government shutting down multi-billion, if not trillion-dollar industries because of the emissions. As much as everyone would like to believe cars are a big deal and cause a lot of greenhouse gases and cause this huge issue with the environment, you can Google this shit on the internet. There are tons of resources and information out there done by actual researchers and not just a government saying so, that there are tons of things way worse than what passenger cars are doing and what modifications are doing to the environment. These companies have become compliant with the California Air Resources Board many a times, and in reality, California Air Resources Board is more strict than the EPA. And this is the one time that the EPA has actually overstepped anybody's boundaries, because even the California Air Resources Board doesn't go after race cars. They know race cars are off-road use only. You know, they know as long as these cars are on the track and not on the street, they don't care. That's out of their jurisdiction. The matter of the fact is that it's really frustrating that the government is deliberately choosing to ignore the fact of where it is deliberately attacking, and in a sense, a livelihood. Because a lot of these people that do these racing, on some level, want to do this as a career. You know, the people that are doing Formula Drift, you know, they don't start in Formula Drift and then become better as time goes on. They do their local drift events, learn how to drift, and then compete at the local drift events, learn how to be a better driver, learn how to have a better car, and creating a recipe for a very competitive driver as time goes on. Through those events and through all that traveling, they then later go into being more competitive, getting into Pro 2, driving through there, and then going into Pro 1. And so this is where you guys have to take your part. I've left the link for the RPM Act down below, and I've left a couple other resources for you guys to look at. I've left resources for the actual bill, so that you guys can take a look at it and read the actual bill that is being proposed itself. You will be able to make a decision for yourself. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very opinionated with this because I am a car guy, and I know a lot of people, I have friends and family that know that I have a background in cars, and some friends like don't understand why this is such a big deal. But please understand, you're taking away the livelihoods of a shit ton of people. You're taking away the jobs of not only the drivers, the people who are in the crew that actually live off the money they're getting paid for these events. You're fucking with like ton of industry in the racing aspect of things too. You can't just simply, oh, well, NASCAR has an exclusion. Well, then NHRA, F1, IMSA, IndyCar, Autocross, all those, then you're getting rid of all those industries. So now they can't be in the United States and they have to go to other countries. You're just gonna tell people to just move up and go to another country because you wanna try and protect the environment and don't understand that what you're doing is actually more detrimental to the economy than it is the environment. It's gonna come down to, you're gonna be destroying tons of industry and potentially the economy. We don't have the resources in the economy already. We're barely just getting back to where we need to be because of COVID, but the economy cannot handle the loss of billions of dollars from the automotive industry, especially in the aftermarket sector. The amount of money that is made from broadcasting and the amount of people that will be losing jobs from broadcasting, working on the teams, driving on the teams. The companies that no longer get advertising because of their drivers doing well. Manufacturers for all the parts now have nothing to produce, so then they're having to shut down factories. This is more than just a climate change debate. This is an economic debate, and it's gonna cause a lot of harm. So if you believe that you think that aftermarket parts shouldn't be made anymore, think about the people that you know and love, or just think about people in general. Yeah, you've got that annoying guy down the street, probably has a loud exhaust, who cares? You know what happened with that exhaust? How that exhaust was made? That exhaust that was made because he bought it, as annoying as you think it is, put food on somebody else's plate, put clothes on somebody else's back, and put a roof over somebody's head. Whether that was a custom exhaust or whether that was an exhaust built from Magnaflow, Borla, ISR, HKS, any of these big name brands. You take away someone's livelihood, and with an industry that big, it's gonna have a domino effect that I don't even think the government could fix. All I ask you guys to do is to go ahead, go down below, click the RPM Act, and send it to your government member. But if enough of you do this and send that in, people will know. People will have to look at this and say, look, this is not right. And it's not. This bill is unjust. It's a bill that can only cause destruction. And if this bill gets passed, who knows what else can be passed. If you can shut down at the amateur level, how the fuck are we gonna get people at the professional level? It just doesn't seem right to me. So please go down below, look at all the articles that I've left down below for you guys, kind of talking about the RPM Act and also talking about the bill that the EPA passed or is trying to pass. And also, please look on the EPA bill, just in general, like please just read it, because reading that document is gonna be very important. It's not a very long read at all. And also make sure to sign the RPM Act. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please know that this is a very important topic to me because this does involve my future as well too, and it could affect yours as well, even if you aren't a huge car person. If you haven't already, make sure to spread the word. Please do share this video around. It would mean a lot to me and get everyone else out there to talk about all these things. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.